When Balaam looked out and saw Israel encamped tribe by tribe, the Spirit of God came on him and spoke his message. Numbers 24 and verse 2. Demystifying Holy Spirit. This is somehow funny. Balaam, a diviner. Look here. When the Spirit of God came on him, he spoke a message. So meaning, if the Spirit of God is upon you, look here, you speak differently. What did he say? The prophecy of Balaam, son of Beor, the prophecy of one whose eyes sees clearly. When the Spirit of God comes on you, your eyes sees clearly. And this seeing is not natural seeing. This is a supernatural seeing, where you are able to see the unseen. Okay, the prophecy of one who hears the words of God. When the Spirit of God comes upon you, your inner ears opens, and you can now be able, your eardrums can be able to tap into the vocals of God, the audible voice of God. You can now be able to tap into and hear clearly. The Spirit of God, when it comes upon you, your tongue becomes prophetic. He says, the prophecy he spoke. So notice here, when the Spirit of God comes upon you, whatever you speak is always prophetic. When the Spirit of God comes upon you, you see the supernatural. You see the spiritual. When the Spirit of God comes upon you, you hear the words of God. You hear the voice of God. Anyone else can't hear, but you can hear what he is saying. Who sees a vision from the Almighty. Balaam is saying, when the Spirit of God came upon him, he saw the visions from the Almighty. So these are the kind of the people who walk with revelations of God, who falls prostrate and whose eyes are opened. You can still, when the Spirit of God is upon you, you fall prostrate. The Spirit of God enables you to humble and to submit and to be in reverence to God. Some certain things here, people think we pretend and all that. It's not our own doing. You are compelled. You are enabled to cry, to be spiritually emotional. When the Spirit of the Lord comes upon you, you fall prostrate. You become contrite. And then he says, whose eyes are open. So when the Spirit of God comes upon you, let me tell you the truth, your eyes will see the things that no one else is able to see. How beautiful are your tents of Jacob, your dwelling places, Israel. Now he is saying this under the influence of the Spirit of God. Remember, Balaam is a diviner. He is a sorcerer. But the Spirit of God has come upon him. So he no longer exists. Now the Lord has taken control. The Spirit of God has taken control of him. So he is not doing things of himself. He is now doing the things of the one who have taken control of him, the Spirit of God. So when the Spirit of God comes upon you, you bless, you don't curse. There are people who have very, very negative time and a very negative mindset and a very negative attitude. Even when they sit down and they look at you, they just think something evil about you. They only think on how they can plan something about you. That's a carnal person. But when the Spirit of the Lord comes upon you, you say, how beautiful are your tents? Or how beautiful are your dwelling places, Jacob or Israel? You see positive in others. You see good in others. These people have the tendency of witch hunt, kupangia watu mabaya. You just always think of something negative to do to others. But when the Spirit of God comes upon you, you see the beauty in others. You might not be in agreement with them. You might not be in their support. But when the Spirit of God comes upon you, you see their beauty. You see the goodness. You see the potential in others. So instead of becoming retrogressive towards them, planning bad things, you become like prophetic to them. You wish them well. It's kind you support their true nature, and you don't want it to come into reality. Like valleys, they spread out, verse 6. Like gardens beside a river, like arrows planted by the Lord, like cedars beside the waters. Water will flow from their bucket, their seed will have abundant water. When the Spirit of God comes upon you, you release impartation in others. He is speaking of water, river, water, which speaks of the supernatural impartation with the grace. When the Spirit of God is upon you, you always release good things on others. You don't have the chance to be cheap. Their king will be greater than Agag. Their kingdom will be exalted. When the Spirit of God is upon you, you are able to see the greatness and the potential. Their king will be greater than Agag. Their kingdom will be exalted. Two things: the king and the kingdom. You are able to see you are able not to see the extent and the greatness and the deepness of life of others, and you appreciate and support it. God brought them out of Egypt. They have the strength of a world works. They devour hostile nations and break their bones in pieces. With their arrows they pierce them like a lion and all that. The point I wanted to make is this. In 9 last part, Numbers 24, 9 part B. May those who bless you be blessed, and those who curse you be cursed. When the Spirit of God comes upon you, you only bless. You only speak positive about others. You only see good in others. You only desire to see the well-being of others. You only pursue what is good for others. When you are doing that, the first beneficiary during impartation is always you. How is the Spirit of God activated according to this gospel? This Spirit of God came upon Balaam as a result of Numbers 23 verse 29. Balaam said, build me 7 altars here, and prepare 7 bulls and 7 lambs for me. Barak did as Balaam had said, and offered a bull and a ram on each altar. Now when Balaam saw that it pleased the Lord to bless Israel, he did not resort to divination as at other times, but he turned his face towards the wilderness. Notice here. How did Balaam receive this Spirit of God? Number 1, altar. Number 2, a bull, a burnt offering. Number 3, a ram. All of them were 777, but now here it is a whole nation. But now here we are dealing with an individual, you the person. An altar, the cross of Jesus Christ. A bull, the body of Jesus Christ. And a ram, what we call personal sacrifice of yourself. Lastly is resolving to to the will of God.